Hi friends, in this video we are going to see the structural models. This is a FY BSc practical as per the UGC as well as University of Pune FY BSc syllabus. In this structural models we are going to see the introductory part, fold, fault, unconformity, dike, so that they can introduce this one. So whatever earlier one, this one will be a full paper in the SY. Now it has been shifted to FY BSc, and this is there in the practical. So I am Dr. Sajid Hundekar. Welcome you. PC Geo Kimberlite YouTube channel. PC is my my college name, Pune College. Geo is a geology, and kimberlite is a source of diamond. From here, number of diamond students has been gone all part of the world. So this department is now a source for the kimberlite. So we keep this theme for this video channel, PC Geo Kimberlite. I welcome you all. So we'll start this structural models practical, as well as you will be helpful in the theory also. Yes, now the first part is we are going to see the fold. What is a fold? Folds are generally seen in the sedimentary rocks which are horizontal, which have been compressed from both the sides, and due to that a wavy like a pattern will be formed due to the internal forces or tectonic forces, compression, tension, couple, all will act together. And now here we are showing you the simple diagram that form a force approaching towards each other, that is the compression force. Due to the compression force, whatever we have horizontal beds are there, they are folded, and whether they may be going to form you the anticline or whether they're going to form syncline, means upward arching, or they're going to form you the downward arching, and a wave like a pattern will be formed. And these wave like a pattern or structure within the rock is called as a fold. We'll see now the parts of the fold. Now whatever we are going to see, the first diagram what we have been sketched, which we have just drawn, this is what we have, the fold, and this part is called as arm. The first part, limbs, arms we called as the flanks of the fold. The second one, it is the highest point of the fold, it is called as crust. And similarly, if we go down and there is a depression, the downward part is called as a trough. So highest elevation point and highest depression point, crust or trough. And it is an imaginary line which passing from the hinge, and that is called as the hinge line. It will maybe a straight, curve or irregular one. Yes, here we are going to make out the hinge line is a line which joins all the highest point on the fold or the lowest point which are there. Just we are shown you in this fold particularly diagram that the highest point will be there, that will be the hinge line, or that will be a crustal line. If it is a trough is there and bottom one, whatever lines you are going to join, that is a trough line, and this is the crust line, high hinge line which is there. And axis of the fold, that is a maximum curvature. Whatever the curvature which has taken place, axis of the fold, that is a maximum curvature that will be there. Axial plane, it is an imaginary plane which divides the divide the fold into two parts. That is an imaginary plane which we are shown in the syncline. Similarly, we are drawn here in the anticline. This is an imaginary plane which divides a fold into two imaginary planes. So that will be the axial plane. It may be vertical, it may be inclined, or it may be horizontal. Any nature will be there. And the crust is the highest point on the fold. Whichever the highest point is there on the fold is called as crust, and whichever the lowest point is there, that is called as the trough. And whatever the line highest, the depressed point, the highest point depressed parts are there, which are joined by a line, that is called as the trough line. Similarly, the highest point which are joining on this top on the crust, it is called as crustal line. Crustal line, trough line. And trough is a simple lowest point there in the syncline. Yes, the same way we have been shown. Hinge point, this is the actual surface, hinge line, limbs which are there, limbs which we were making, wavelength from, this is their wavelength from this end to this end, and this is the amplitude which will be going to make out. Hinge point, axial stress will be there. So these are the points which will be not required as such for the Fy, but that will be required in the Ty when you are going to make out. Yes, that is the same one. Antiform, that is highest curvature point will be there. That is the folding part, that is the antiform, and the whatever the curvature on the downward side is there, that will be called as synform. Antiform and synform, but this is also there in the Sy. Yes, now we are going to see the two-fold from two folds we are going to see from this particular topic from the fold. First one is anticline. Anti means opposite, clean means inclination. When the limbs are dipping in the opposite from the axial plane. From the axial plane, yes, this is the axial plane, and the limbs are dipping, yes, with the horizontal surface. These limbs are dipping in the opposite direction, and it is the upward arching. It is upward arching, that is the opposite link which is there, that is anticline. Opposite inclination is there, and upward arching, or it is called as convex arching. Upward arching or convex arching. And there is a important points in this. Limbs are dipping in the opposite side, older formation at the center and younger formation at the periphery. And this axial plane which is there, it may be vertical, it may be inclined, it may be horizontal. So all three types which will be there. So axial plane, you can draw the simple diagram. That will be the nature of the fold. That is the axial plane is vertical. Here we have inclined. Here it is the horizontal. So these are the three different types will be there in the anticline. Yes, we have been shown here the sketches. What we have, the folds anticline. Yes, here we have the again anticline. You can see anticline, oldest in the center, youngest at the periphery. The block diagram, anticline, oldest at there. The limbs are dipping in the opposite direction. This is very clear. The limbs are very, very clear. It is the crust part, the highest point will be there. I think this is clear now for the anticline. Now go to the next one, syncline. Syn means towards. The limbs are dipping towards each other. So here the fold is downward arching. It is a downward arching. Limbs are dipping towards each other. Older formation at the periphery and younger formation at the center. Exactly reverse of the anticline. Yes, it is the exactly reverse of the anticline. So here limbs are dipping towards each other, towards the axial plane. Then second part, it is a downward arching. Third point, older formation at the periphery, younger formation at the center. Yes, so here also axial plane may be vertical, inclined, horizontal. You can see now limbs are dipping towards. Whenever you are going to draw the diagram, see carefully the whatever the symbol you are going to use it out. It shows the proper symbol which I use for the syncline. We have to show that. So here we have a block diagram, a syncline, limbs are dipping. Yes, here it is very clear. The younger formation will be center. Yes, this is the syncline. Yes, again here we have a best syncline fold is there. So that will be the anticline and syncline. These two we are going to see from the fold side. Now we are going to see a fault. Fault is a fracture or rupture along which the two blocks will be displaced along each other. There is a relative displacement. For example, this is a one block. Now there will be a fault has been taken place. Along the fault there is a displacement. Yes, this may be the displacement this side, or this will be the position this side, any direction the displacement has taken place. Relative, that is the very important one. The displacement which will be taken place along this fracture or rupture on the both the sides of the opposite block, and that relative displacement, once it is taken place, then it is called as a fault. Fault is a line of rupture or a fracture along which the two blocks have been displaced relatively to each other. Yes, the both before faulting they are united, but after faulting they have been displaced. So that is a relative displacement you are going to see. Now in this we'll see its terminology is what we have. So here we have shown you the animation now. See very clear. Here we are going to get this displace, it goes up, relative moment has been shown. The displacement of the block which will be normally taken place along the fracture, and displacement takes place few centimeters to hundreds of kilometers. That is a very far. You can see now due to the tension, the force is pulling up the sedimentary block, and we are going to get the faults, and in that fault the moment which has been taken place, how this displacement has been taken place. We'll see the next part, the parts of the fault. Is see here also we have the block. This is a strike fault. Yes, shifting parallel to the strike of the bed. Here we have the deep fault. Next one, parallel to deep, the hanging wall goes down. Yes, whichever which will be there. So the hanging, this will be the post and graben, which will the same diagram is there. Yes, so that is the animation is there. Yes, here we have been clear. These 2 points, displacement has taken place. Yes, displacement has taken place. Yes, we'll see the parts of a fault. Now, what is the first part? The angle made by the line. Yes, this is a fault line, and this is a fault. This is a horizontal surface. Whatever the angle made by the fault, this is the horizontal surface, and this is a fault. Whatever the angle made by the fault with the horizontal surface is called as a deep of a fault. The angle made by the fault plane with the horizontal surface, or it is an intersection angle between the fault plane and the horizontal surface, is called as a deep. Clear? Next one, strike of a fault. The intersection line between the two faults. Say the fault has been taken place, intersection line is there. Along this on the surface, there is a intersection line will be there. Due to this fault with the horizontal surface, an intersection line has been formed, or you can have this here, the bed is there, and here we have the fault. This fault has taken place with the horizontal surface, there is an intersection. So this intersection line will be the fault. So strike is an intersection line between the fault plane with the horizontal surface. Deep is the angle measured between the fault with the horizontal surface. So these are two very, what is the relation between this? These two are perpendicular, 90 degree. Strike and deep, they are the 90 degrees there. Next one, hanging wall. Above the fault plane, this is a fault plane. Above the fault plane, whichever the block is there, say assume now, this is a fault plane and this is your block. So this block will be called as your hanging wall, and the block which is present on the lower side of this fault plane. Yes, here we have another one. The block which is present below the fault plane is called as the footwall. This is the footwall and this is the hanging wall. This clear term now here in the diagram also we are shown. Above the fault plane, whichever the block is there, hanging wall, and whichever the block which is present on the lower side, it is the footwall. So in this particular diagram, this will be your hanging wall and this block will be the footwall. Now similarly here, along this fault, this is the hanging wall and this is the footwall. Yes. Next one, the types of fault. Now here also we are going to see the two types. One is normal type, and that is called as a gravity fault. The hanging wall has moved down. The hanging wall has gone down with respect to footwall. The hanging wall has gone down with respect to footwall, and so what is happening here? The footwall will remain on the top. Yes, so this is the position now. Hanging wall goes down, footwall remain constant. and this is the inclined surface fault. This is the footwall below this one. Hanging wall goes down, and with the gravity, the hanging wall has dragged down. Yes, it has been movement has taken place in that particular hanging wall. So hanging wall moved down with respect to the footwall. In other words, footwall has moved up against the hanging wall. That will be also correct. So here we are given you, this is the footwall, this is the hanging wall, and the relative moment has taken place. That block has gone down and this block gone up. So this is a fault. After the faulting, this is the position which has taken place. Here now see, hanging wall goes down. This is the footwall. So this is called as a normal fault or a gravity fault. Come to the next one, a reverse fault. Against the gravitational force, the hanging wall goes up. So assume now, this is a fault. Now this hanging wall goes up and footwall remain on the down. Whenever hanging wall goes up, footwall remain down with the relative, or both will be their moment has taken place. Then this is called as the reverse fault, or it is called as thrust against the gravity of force. This hanging wall has moved up with respect to footwall. Then this is called as the reverse fault or the thrust fault. Next structural model we are going to have from the igneous intrusion. Whatever the magma, what is a magma? A molten material. Yes, what is a molten material? Pyroclastic molten material which is present below the surface or at a greater depth. Then that particular liquid will be called as magma. Once this magma come on the surface through a pipe-like structure and through volcano, the magma has been erupted, then the liquid comes on the surface, then it is called as lava. So these two terms are very, very important, magma and lava. Now once the magma has full enriched, pressure, temperature conditions are very high, upper part, whatever the rocks are there, they become the weak, and weak zone is there. Slowly these magma coming up and it is cutting down, and this will be vertically, the whatever the horizontal rocks are there, they have been cut down. Say this is rock is there, it has been cut down, a pipe-like structure which is coming out, and this type of intrusion, igneous intrusion, is called as discordant type. This is called as a discordant type, where the magma is completely intruded the country rock, and in which it has been erupted. Then this is called as discordant, and that discordant vertical pipe-like structure will be there. That is called as a dike, which may be few centimeter to few meters, or whereas few meters to kilometers together. This will be travel this magma through the dike, and that will be the width is normally meters together, and but its extension is depending upon how much is the magma has been charged and how much is the pressure is there. On the basis of that, it will be travel a long distance. Here we have shown you various block diagrams. This is from my department block diagram. Yes, these are the sedimentary rocks which are there, and these layered rock have been intruded by the vertical dike. Magmatic intrusion is taken place. So here also you can see in the country rock the magmatic intrusion has taken place. Here also you can see now the dike is there, intrusion on the surface. You can see now here also a dike, here also dike. Now you can see here a dike will be there, intrusion of sedimentary rock come on the surface, and when it is parallel to the sedimentary rock, it is called as sill. But now sill we are not going to taken here now. Next one, the type is unconformity. This unconformity is the missing time. It is a time gap. It is an interruption in the rock succession by the surface of non-deposition erosion. We don't know how much time there will be, whether deposition has taken place or there is a erosion. We don't know, but what is happening, whatever the beds are been deposited, say example A, B, C, D, E beds are deposited, out of this E and D beds are eroded, and directly whichever the next bed is coming on that, P bed is deposited. So in between there is a missing record is there, and that missing record, the contact between the two different formation will be there. That will be called as the unconformity. Yes, unconformity developed due to changes in the process of deposition and erosion. These two important processes are there that is going to take place, and whatever the important tool is there, the age of the rock we are going to make out, and that will be useful in preparing the geologist timescale. Whatever the timescale is there, that has been divided eon, eras, periods. So all they are, wherever their division has been done, these divisions have been done on the basis of the unconformity. Up to a small level also, the unconformity we have been taken out. So what we are going to make out the both the sides rock has been collected, sample has been taken out, we have radiometric dating has been taken place, we have find out that there will be a missing record is there, time gap is there, then unconformity is recognized. Then the second one, whatever the relation of the rock which are there on the lower side, on the upper side, on the basis of that we have the different types of unconformities. You can see here now, lower side we have the inclined bed, sedimentary rock is there, and above this we'll find again sedimentary rock but horizontal beds. So this is the unconformity, angular unconformity. You can see now here on the lower side we have a fold structure, but above this one horizontal one. So this is the angular unconformity. Here also you can see one is there, and now see this one. So here the angular unconformity that will be easily recognized. So in that we can see now one by one. Yes, that will be the angular unconformity. That is the two different formation which are there. They have the different orientation. Lower formations are inclined, folded, faulted, whichever the thing will be there, and upper side we have the horizontal one. So that will be the relation will be given. Yes, how it will be formed. A, B, C, D, E bed is there. Deformation has taken place. After that erosion has taken place. After erosion, again the new beds are deposited. This is the way 1, 2, 3, 4 process. That is deformation, deposition, deformation, erosion, and redeposition. After the erosion, subsidence is there. After the subsidence, new beds will be deposited on the top. That is the horizontal beds. Now I can see here these are the inclined beds are very clear, and above is the horizontal bed. Similarly, here we have inclined bed, fold is there, above is the horizontal one. You can see here inclined and above is the horizontal. So that is the angular unconformity. Next one is local unconformity or disconformity. The name will be given to one depending upon only the area wise they will be gone, and unconformity present between the older and younger formation. Both are horizontal. Earlier one in the angular what we have seen, upper one is the younger formation is horizontal, whereas the lower older formation is inclined. But in the case of local or disconformity, both are the parallel one. But if this unconformity has taken place for a smaller area, local unconformity, if it is for a larger area, this is called as disconformity. Yes, so here we have, you can see now this beds which are there. I can see now here it is very clear. And unconformity, upper side is horizontal, lower side is all. Here we have, this is the unconformity which will be make out. So here we have lower side different rock, and here we have the different parts. Non-unconformity, this is also an interesting one. On the lower side, the older formation, what we are going to get, it is whether it may be a metamorphic rock or it may be a igneous one. And above this one, we have the sedimentary one. So then it is there, it is called as the non-unconformity. You can see that this is the igneous one intrusion, and here we have the sedimentary. So that is called as non-unconformity. As you can see now here, this is the magmatic intrusion, and these are the sedimentary rock. Here also the magmatic intrusion, and these are the sedimentary. So here we have the magmatic intrusion is there, and these are the sedimentary one. So this is where a non-unconformity. I hope this is the small practical. One part will be there in the FY BSc. I hope this will be a clear one. Once you go actually see this models with your own eyes and 1 or 2 times, if you revise this one, then there is no need to go in the lab for going to see that same model which is there. But in the home also you can prepare your practical as well as theory part for FY BSc. I hope you enjoy my video. Thank you. Have a nice day.